Okay. Perfect. I can hear everything. If my thing wants to work. There we go. Alright, looks like it's working. Let me do the intro. Hello and welcome, dear patrons, to Tables of Tartarus, a chapter of Purgatory Corner. I am not your storyteller today. Benny's our storyteller today. And today we are going to be continuing the tale of Ventures into the End Times. Come on in, take a seat, and let your imagination run free. Benny, if you'd like to take it from here.
Thank you for that, and thank you, as always, for having me. We're in the story Adventures into the End Times. Last time, our party had encountered the relatives of some of our party members, Jane the Ranger and Athel the Goblin, and you had battled a shadow creature that had destroyed and then taken over the forest where everybody was from. And at the end of the battle, the creature turned into an angel and flew away, much to Renegar the Barbarian's frustration and dismay. So that's kind of where we're leaving off. And before we get into it, I'd like to go around and do a quick round of introductions. Let's just do your character's name, race, and class, keeping in mind some of you are multi-classed at this point. So we'll start with Renegar.
Renegar, Flynn Knoll, Beast Barbarian, and Sanguine Chapter Jaeger.
All right. And next up we have Athel.
Athel is a Circle of Dreams druid, goblin, and now he's also multiclassed into monk with 1 level.
All right. And next up we have Jane.
Jane is a Fey Wanderer Ranger. She's a forest gnome. And yeah, that's about it for her.
All right. Last but not least, especially when he's raging, we have Gramish.
Gramish is a orc, Path of the Giant Barbarian.
All right. So the morning comes, you all have had rest in this forest where there's increasingly frustrated goblin and gnome magicians working weather magic. They're trying to make like an actual downpour of rain to counteract the years of drought that have been affecting not just this place, but the overall area. And they're not able to conjure up more than a light drizzle. They have promised and are about to make good on their promise to escort you to the place that is your larger mission, which is to observe a confrontation that's about to happen between the 2 great empires of the region, the Darag Supremacy and the Empire of Infernus. Before you all set out, is there anything anyone wants to do?
During the feast we're having, this conjured feast, is this like is this like a hero's feast type of deal, or is this
Basically, yes.
During that feast, I've been like outwardly at least celebrating, but like I've been drinking way too much. Like I'm not even taking and putting the ale into mugs. It's just the whole pitcher and just dumping it. And it's clear. It's clear that I'm. It is clear that I'm bothered, but I'm trying to drink it away.
All right. So the rest of the party are all observing this. The goblins and gnomes of this forest have virtually no experience with gnolls, so as far as they know, this could be totally normal gnoll behavior. So they're not necessarily going to react to it. Is anyone in the party going to say or do anything about this?
Gramish would probably see this as just drinking excessively, which for Gromish is just his normal habit. So he's just essentially going to see it as almost like kind of a challenge that he's kind of used from early days with Jane. So everything that Ranagar drinks, he's taking at the same time, basically.
All
I'm
right,
matching
let's
them
get a
bit for bit.
Constitution save from both of you then.
Will do. Con save. Normal. Oof, that's a 10.
That is a 22.
Jesus.
All right, so Renegar, you're really bothered. Like it's really getting to you, and you're that kind of bothered where the alcohol should be dulling your wits, but you're actually feeling more clarity and more awake and more focused on what's bothering you. Gromish, you are not in any way having that problem. Everything's great for you.
Got beat to hell, and now he's taking that. It's taking a toll.
Just like whole picture, not even like trying very hard, and just slamming it down. More.
At this point, Jane would be concerned because she's never seen him drink this much, and the fact that he's ending up going to be drinking more than Gromish and is unfazed, she's going to likely be She's going to be bringing him the next round of drinks. It's like, "Are you okay, buddy? Usually you don't drink this much. And last time I saw someone drink this much is when Dad and Mom got in a fight."
I'm gonna dump the whole picture first, and then slam it back down with just like gripping it tighter the whole time. Not strong enough. None of that.
Well, I don't know if they have any stronger alcohol here, buddy. So, is
Not
something going on?
the alcohol.
Alcohol plenty strong.
Okay, buddy.
That
I think you need a break.
it left, not run. Bored, not scared.
Well,
They're hit hard. Saw hard. Made it bleed. It was bored.
yeah, I don't understand that either. So, we'll try again next time we see it. It seemed to be like a god, so we can't exactly kill a god. So don't be too hard on yourself. We did our best. We took every ounce of our strength at it. But we freed the forest. That's what it matters. Not if we're strong enough to kill a god. You did great out there.
Not enough. Can't. Again. Not third time. And I'll just like start chugging more ale.
So
Poor
for
buddy.
perspective, is Renegar upset because he's afraid of encountering this thing again? Or is he upset because this is the first enemy that he has encountered that he wasn't able to rip apart? Like what's the thought process going on here? Is it a specific fear or more of a philosophical issue?
This is a specific fear. technically he's lost his family twice.
Hmm.
Once he was kidnapped. Once more, he was forced to do it himself, and he wasn't strong enough to resist.
Hmm.
And so now he's encountered something that was so strong that it took everything that we threw at it, and it was bored. It left. It didn't run.
Okay.
And so now, what the big worry is whatever's coming next is going to be bigger, is going to be stronger. And so now he is worried about losing a third time.
All right.
The poor buddy.
All right. So after this this explanation is given, is anybody going to respond to this in any way, or are you just kind of accepting what's said and moving on with the evening?
Grommish in a somewhat drunken state will probably go, big enemy, go down harder. Bored, happy, mad, sad, all die the same. Kinda. Yeah. Don't worry, fur buddy. Drink, drink, and strength will come. He's just gonna start tipping another jug into his skull.
The display does make me chuckle a little bit. I'm still pretty pissed off and just like drinking along with him.
Mm.
But like in the back of my mind, it's not leaving.
Mm. That's all Grommish is gonna do.
All right. Well, at some length, you all do eat and drink your fill. You take rest for the evening, and in the morning, Jane's grandfather and Athel's brother, Grek, among several others, are going to prepare to escort you on in your travels. And as you're walking, Jane, the difference in your grandfather from what he was before the forest was liberated is essentially like a whole other person. He still looks like an old man, but he walks with a very distinct spring in his step. And he's like his way he speaks is crisper, he stands taller. And he's talking to you about the sword that your father's ghost passed off to you. And he begins by telling you how it was forged for one of your ancestors by a dwarven smith. But as he's talking, a young gnome woman who's traveling with the group is going to ask him a question, and he's going to talk to her for a few minutes and be noticeably flirting with her, and she's kind of going along with it. And when he returns to talking to you about the sword, he's going to say, so anyway, yeah, it was a gift from the elven court to our family for services rendered. And then he's going to tell that story for a little while, and he'll be interrupted by getting into a conversation with a young goblin woman. And then when he comes back to telling the story, it's back to dwarves made it for your family. Like the story's changing a little bit as he's telling it and as he's getting distracted. And what he's getting distracted by seems to be the possibility of granting you some new aunts and uncles in the near future. As you all are traveling, you make your way out of the enchanted forest, and there's no distinct boundary, there's no distinct marker that ends that space, but you know when you've left it because it stops being green and lush and vibrant, and it's back to the wilderness that you all have been experiencing this whole time, where everything's dried out and dying and just kind of ruined. The path they take you on looks like a deer track or something like that. It's not really the main road. And at length, it goes into this hill country that opens up into a vast plain. I mean, a city of hundreds of thousands could have been built on this plain. And what's in this plain now is easily thousands of tents. Some of them are organized very loosely, and some of them are organized in very tight military pattern. And you can distinctly see the most organized of them are the tent camp of the Empire of Infernus, which is closer to you. And then there's a broad space on the plain there. There's just nothing there. But in the distance, you can see another collection of, again, thousands of tents that look like a couple of different military camps. And at that point, Jane's grandfather is going to sort of turn to the group and say, well, this is it. This is where the armies are meeting. As you can see, they're massing here. They haven't drawn up for battle yet. That'll probably be tomorrow or the next day.
Lots of foes.
Well, this will be exciting in any case, but thank you for bringing us here.
Of course, and we can't stay. I have to go back to our business in the forest and elsewhere, but I'm so glad to have met you, and I obviously I hope to see you again sooner rather than later. I can't tell you how proud I am that you're my granddaughter. And he's going to step forward and sort of hold out his arms, implying that he would like a hug, but he's not being aggressive about it.
Jane is, of course, going to hug him and be like, oh, I'll miss you a lot. It's great to meet you, and don't be too busy with the ladies now.
I make absolutely zero promises. And with that, he's going to wave, and he's also going to stop to warmly shake hands with Grommish and with Renegar. Ethel, you're not going to be quite part of that conversation because you're preoccupied with your brother Grek, who Grek is going to look at Jane and her grandfather embracing and then look at you and give you one of those really skeptical, I really hope you're not expecting that from me kind of looks.
Yeah, Ethel just shakes his head. Ah.
So Grek is going to settle on sort of reaching out and awkwardly patting you on the shoulder, and he's after a moment of consideration, he's just going to say, I grew up without a family, so I don't really know how to be good family to you. But if you make your way back to the forest at any time, we'll figure that out.
Ethel sort of nods contentedly at this and goes, certainly hope I live to tell that. I certainly hope I live to see that, sort of side-eyeing the massive tents.
All right. So the party of the party of goblins and gnomes who guided you here is going to make their way away. Ethel, your character does have in your possession a looking glass you got some time ago.
Oh yeah, forgot about that.
And even without the use of that, something you're all going to notice is that above or among every mass of tents, there's some kind of a banner or a flag indicating who's there. Most of the flags you don't really recognize. These are tribal flags and mercenary companies. But there's one that Renegar, you absolutely do recognize. It's what looks like red claw marks against a black background, and it's the mark of your clan. And it's among the mass of mercenary tents nearest to the Empire of Infernus.
So is that close? That's close to us then?
Relatively so, yeah.
When I see it, I tap Jane on the shoulder and I point to that. I point to the flag and
What's up, fuzzy buddy?
the flag.
Oh,
Mother.
that's interesting flag.
Clan.
Father?
My clan.
That's your family? Oh, we're meeting everyone's family. How
And I just start
exciting!
walking. I take that as approval, and I just start walking off towards it.
All right.
Okay.
So you're on a hill sort of overlooking these encampments in a relatively safe position, distant from all the mercenaries. So the question then is, when Renegar takes off walking, what is everybody going to do? We'll start with Jane. Are you following him or are you staying put?
I'm probably going to wait till he kind of invites the rest of the group because of the encounter we had before with the gnolls that were walking past, kind of looking at her funny.
Mm.
So she's going to wait.
Okay.
As much as she's like excited, she's like fighting with herself, like wanting to like she like takes a couple steps toward him and then like pauses. It's like, just wait. It's okay.
All right.
Unless, yeah,
Okay.
unless she gets scooped.
Okay. And Athel, what are you going to be doing?
Athel's just gonna kind of shrug and go, well, it was nice knowing him, before continuing to look through the spyglass and counting up the overall number of tents.
Entirely reasonable. Grommish,
Jane
where
is
are
gonna
you?
Ethel.
What?
Okay, so Jane, when you're standing next to Athel, what you quickly realize is there are sounds coming out of the spyglass. And the spyglass has a range of up to a mile, and you not only see but also hear whatever you're looking at. So as Athel is ranging this over the different bands of mercenaries and the different armies, you can hear sort of snatches of conversation in many languages. And when the spyglass is on the mercenary camps, there's kind of a festive atmosphere to this. Everybody's super enthusiastic about being here. When it's on the armies of the Empire, it's a much more formal military situation. Everybody's very serious and sincere about it, and somewhat concerned about it because while the hope is that the two powers will just negotiate and work out their differences, this could turn out into a major conflict. So both Athel and Jane are picking that up. Gromish, you're watching Renegar start to walk away. Are you going with, or are you staying put?
Grommish, seeing Jane probably hesitate. He's just gonna look at Rangar and go, "Join, fur buddy."
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
All right. He's gonna like look at the two and be like, "Fly." You two go up.
Sorry, I missed that as a whole. What's happening? I just
So
fixed my headset.
oh, you're good. Essentially, Rangar just said, "Yeah, join," and then Rangar's like, "You two up."
Athel's gonna sort of shake his head, be like, I'm just gonna stay here, try to count up and figure out what's going on with these armies. Maybe make an
Okay.
educated guess. Take some bets on who's gonna win.
Jane's obviously going to join with that offer. She feels safe, Gromish, so she's going to be like, yes.
Okay. We'll come
Let's
back,
go.
magic buddy. And he like picks up Jane, puts her on his shoulder, and he's just gonna start immediately walking towards Rangar. Onwards for a drink and a drink today.
All right.
All the drinks with new buddies. And Jane sings along.
As we get to the edge, before we start heading down the hill. Close. Stay close. Quiet.
I could try.
As you all are proceeding, it's pretty much broad daylight and there's not a whole lot of cover here. Are you going to attempt to proceed stealthily, or are you just going to proceed directly to this camp? You'll be passing by a few other sort of clusters of tents as you get to Renegar's clan.
Rengar's don't follow. Not Rengar. Grommash is gonna follow Rengar's lead.
Yeah, so I'm gonna try and go stealthily as we can.
All right, so go ahead and make a stealth check. The way I'm saying this is you're trying to be nonchalant and not attract attention. You can't really hide, but you can avoid attracting much attention.
Okay. All of us roll stealth?
Sure.
Okay.
Well, don't rely on my stealth today.
15 for Grommash.
Solid 9 here.
I would remind.
I
Is
think
that
it's
with
a
advantage?
dirty 23.
Is that with advantage, Renegar? Because your cloak of Elvenkind gives you advantage.
And that was with advantage. The other roll was a 2.
Oh no.
All right. Well,
These dice are tired. They need a break.
so several people do notice a Flynn walking through because there aren't a whole lot of you, and people are terrified of Flynns. The good news is that Grommash and Jane pass almost unnoticed because there's so much attention on Renegar. But the attention on Renegar doesn't really turn hostile. People just kind of like, okay, there's a big scary Flynn walking by. Do we need to do it? Nope, he's walking by. Okay. It's that kind of reaction.
That's good.
As you reach the edge of the camp, you're immediately going to spot one of your cousins, and they're going to spot you, and they're going to be very disbelieving for a moment because at this point they haven't seen you in close to a year and assumed you were dead.
Oh, it's been more like 6 or 7 years actually.
All right, so it's been a long time, and they're just going to jump up and they're going to run up to you and just, Renegar, is that you? Where have you? You look great, but where have you been? This conversation's happening in Knoll.
And I respond. I'm trying not to I'm trying not to get too deep into the background of what's been going on. I've been held up for a long time. I'll tell you more when we get close.
All right. And then he's going to look at Grommash and just kind of nod. This is a logical companion for a Flint barbarian to have. Then he's going to notice Jane sitting on Grommash's shoulder, and he's not really going to say anything. He's just going to kind of look at Renegar and point to Jane with this very quizzical expression.
They're with me.
Grommash, with his obscenely low intelligence, thinks he's pointing at Grommash and goes, "Hi, buddy."
All right,
He's nice.
So
Are my parents still alive?
No, I'm sorry. They died well, but they're not with us anymore. Ours is a short life, my friend, and all I can tell you is that they passed valiantly and well, and they are in Yanagu's pack now. And him saying they're in Yanagu's pack it's basically the equivalent of they're with Jesus now. It's as kind of thing as he can say about them in the circumstances.
Right.
And he's going to just kind of turn to the cluster of crude hide tents that the Knolls are living in. By now, several others have noticed this conversation and stepped out and are staring very much in shock. And it's like, Renegar's back. Renegar, and he made friends who he brought to see us. And he's going to kind of look at you and look at Jane and Grommash, and then he's going to whisper, but not very effectively, "The little one is not for eating. They're his friends." Now, Jane and Gromish, you don't understand what he's saying because even though he's bad at whispering, he's speaking Knoll. But you do notice some disappointed expressions on the faces of all these Knolls. But they sort of bring you toward the center of camp. There's some kind of animal being roasted over a spit. Something you do notice is there are the bodies of a couple of Knolls lying on the ground, almost like lying in state, with a Knoll shaman doing something over them. There are several Knolls who aren't from your clan who are here, and they're not part of the camp. They definitely seem like visitors, or they're just kind of awkwardly waiting around for things or chatting with people, but more in their own groups. And Renegar, you're going to see someone who the last time you saw them, they were a child, but it's a nephew of yours who's now full grown. They're seated, and I would like to describe this without it being too grisly, but they're somewhat hunched over, and another Knoll who's not a Flind and not part of your clan, but he's wearing what you recognize as ceremonial robes of a cleric of Yanagu, and he's got tattooist tools, and he's working on this person's back. But this isn't just a stick and poke tattoo. Like, there's much more getting into and under the skin involved in this. And your nephew is going to look up at you, and when he does, you're going to see he's in a lot of pain, but he's not making any effort to resist this situation. He's not being restrained or anything.
Right.
And of course, Gromish and Jane, you're both seeing this, and Athel, if you happen to turn your spyglass to where your companions are, you will see it as well. So, Renegar, you know what's happening here is that this tattoo is a mark that brings people into the higher graces of Inigo. It can be put on anyone, but it's dangerous to get it. And if you would like me to go into more detail about what's happening here, I'm happy to do that. As you're watching this happen, your cousin is going to say, "Tattoo for battle." He's saying this in common because he seems to want Gromish and Jane to understand anything. And his comment is broken, somewhat like Renegar's is. He's, "Tattoo for battle. Anybody who wants can get. Only bravest get tattoo."
Gromish's gonna look at Renegar and go, "You have battle tattoo?
Ah.
Can I have battle tattoo?"
And now I know what the effects of this tattoo is, right?
You do. Would you like for me to outline them?
Yeah. So basically, what I would be attempting to explain in common that it's what it is and what it's for.
All right. So the effect of this tattoo, it has several effects. One of them is that when you land a hit, if you roll a 19 or a 20 on the die, either of those will count as a critical hit. So it doubles your chances of a crit. And if you have some ability like the improved critical from the champion fighter, then it's 18, 19, or 20. So it stacks with other abilities like it. It also will give you the Savage Attacks ability, which means that when you roll the damage die on a crit, you get extra damage off of it.
Ooh.
And again, it stacks. So half orcs get Savage Attacks. So if you, let's say you crit with a longsword, normally a crit with a longsword would be 2d8 plus whatever modifiers are appropriate. This brings it to 3d8. And as I say, it would stack with anything else that gives you that. And finally, when you land a critical hit, you gain 5 temporary hit points.
Damn.
So that was the good. The bad is that when you get this tattoo, you need to make a DC 15 Constitution saving throw. Should you fail your DC 15 Constitution saving throw, you take 10d8 of damage, which cannot be reduced or prevented or mitigated in any way. Temporary hit points will help in that situation, but you do eat the damage. And normal healing abilities, something like a cure wounds or a healing word or a healing spirit, won't help you. Meaning you have to recover your health through short and long rests, and that's the only way to get it back is through your hit die. Also,
Damn.
if the damage drops you to 0 hit points, you can't come back from something like a healing word or a cure wounds. It has to be something like revivify. So there's a reason only the bravest gnolls get this. And then the last thing that this tattoo does is it gives you something called the Curse of Rage. So for 10 days after you get the tattoo, every morning you make a DC 15 wisdom save. On a failed save, you gain 1 rage counter. 5 rage counters causes you to go into a frenzy for 1 hour where you're just attacking everyone and everything around you. There is a way to mitigate this, which is that if within those 10 days you kill 1 sentient being, then it's just gone. The Curse of Rage is just gone. And if you succeed if you succeed 6 of your 10 wisdom saves, that also causes it to just go away. So, this is a high risk, high reward situation, and Renegar, you're going to know that the reason why there were a couple of dead gnolls back there was because they got this tattoo and it didn't go well.
And I'll have pointed that out.
All right, so you're explaining all of this to your companions?
Mm-hmm.
Athel, do you think you will have looked over at what your companions are doing and be hearing this conversation, or will your attention have been elsewhere?
Oh, yes, and at hearing the effects of this tattoo, Athel is definitely walking over there at this point.
Oh, you know exactly what Grommish is thinking. He hears all this, and again, just not the smartest person, but he's hearing all this, and he's kind of contemplating the risks for a second. He's looking at Rygar and goes, how would he phrase this? He would go, he'd look at Rygar and he would go, more strength we need. Right, for a buddy?
Much.
Big thing got bored. Yeah.
Yes.
Don't
Much.
gently pat your shoulder, and he's just don't go, won't be bored next time. he's don't start walking up to a tattooist.
Okay, Jane, you're right here for all of this. What is your reaction going to be? All right, while Jane is
muted?
collecting... is she muted?
She might be.
I'm back.
Oh,
Okay, you're back.
Yeah, so Jane is going to be like, since she's still on his shoulder,
Mhm.
she's going to be like grabbing his head, trying to like maneuver him backwards. Like, nope. I know your ears are good. No. What if you want a frenzy and kill your friends? Did you think of that, buddy?
He still moves his hand under you. A cop pick you up. He still like face towards him. He's don't go. We'll go alone at night. No friend hurt. No. I just don't put you on the ground. You just don't go. Need protection needed. It's okay. It's okay, little mama. It's okay. Stay with fur buddy. It's okay.
Jane is absolutely unimpressed, and she's gonna ready her bow. So, buddy, if you take another step, I will shoot you. We don't
I'm gonna
need
turn
this
around and
protection.
put my
We're
hand on
okay.
myself.
Wait,
Okay,
you'll do
so
Rygar?
Jane's readying a bow. She's threatening Gromish, who's 4 times her size, with a bow. I'm sorry, Renegar, what did you say you were doing?
I'm actually gonna turn. I'm gonna put my hand on the bow. Like, I have a big enough hand. I think at this point, I can actually reach around the limb, and I can grab the limb and the string. and basically make if she releases it, it's not going to go very far at all.
Right.
Gromish just
So-
he's still like chuckle at her pulling a bow. He's just like power head softly. He's just go, it's okay, little mama. I know you want help. It's okay.
Jane is going to try to charm Gromish, yelling at him.
I love
All right.
that.
I believe it'll be a wisdom save for that.
Yep. Let's see.
It tells me he's not going to succeed this one.
That'd be an 8. So he did not succeed that.
Alright, so
I
what
am
are you-
charmed. So I regard you as a friendly acquaintance at the moment, if I don't already. I cannot attack you or target you with harmful effects. So yeah, so I'm like, aw, you're so sweet, little mama. All right, tattoo time.
No tattoo,
Yeah.
buddy. No,
It's-
no tattoo.
I won't die, little mama. It's okay. I'm big.
You will die.
I'm big.
What if
It's
you go
okay.
crazy and almost kill me, buddy? Did you think of that?
I won't.
So, while all
Buddy?
this is going on, can I have it be that Athel has approached and is currently also asking for a tattoo?
Absolutely. And since everybody,
Oh my gosh.
since everybody's focused on this, you'll have actually been able to get up to the group, and they're immediately going to make the connection of these people who aren't gnolls were with Renegar, so maybe this person is also with Renegar, and so a couple of them are going to look at Renegar and point to Athel, like, is this person with you?
I just while I'm holding the bow, I nod silently.
Okay. So, Jane, while this is all going on, one of the gnolls is going to ask, would you like it? He's going to like lean down and in a remarkably sweet voice, he's going to say, would you like a tattoo, little one?
Me? Or to...
No, he's talking to Jane.
Oh, Jane, I...
Definitely not. I am perfectly fine. I don't need a tattoo. Thank you, though. But if we can avoid this
He's going to interrupt
giant
you. He's
dum-dum
gonna-
over here.
He's going to interrupt the next thing you're saying, and he's going to say, then stop trying to interfere.
Oh.
Excuse you?
What's up?
I'm gonna get down low to try and be eye to eye with her, and I'm going to say the same thing very slowly.
Oh, Fire Redhead's
is
about to come
big.
kicking.
Jade,
Like the sternest possible look I can give her.
Jane's
Oh,
gonna
boy.
laugh at you. It's like, you think I'm scared of you? You're
Oh, no.
hilarious. And she's gonna grab her rapier. It's like I said, Big Buddy's not getting a tattoo.
Okay, Jane, are you just putting your hand on the hilt, or are you actually grabbing it? Or drawing it?
I'm going to put my hand on the hilt for now.
Okay.
Whew.
I need you to make a strength saving throw.
That'll be a 16.
All right. So the gnoll who was talking to you before actually tries to pick you up, and you manage to wriggle out of his grip.
Gromit just don't like look at Jane. He's just don't pop a hand. He's so go, little mama, calm down. Remember location.
If you tell me to calm down one more time, I will bite you.
He's don't put his hand like kind of like right in front of you. And go, jump, calm down. Like he's done this a couple of times. He's just so cool. It's okay, little mama. It's okay. Location important.
Yeah, location where I'm gonna bite you.
Bite if you
Alright.
wish, but no fight.
So, while that's going on, I'm sorry about this, Jane. I'm going to adjust my grip on the bow, and I'm going to snap the limb.
That was not the correct decision.
All right. Well, you're going to need to make it. You're almost certainly going to succeed, but you will make a strength check to do it. She just got this bow too after the last one got broken last session. So yeah, go ahead and make your strength check.
Before I
Him
roll,
or me?
It-
Okay.
and before I roll, actually, can I just start this process slowly, as sort of like, so she can hear the fibers start to creak under the pressure?
Okay.
Jane is going to look at you with every sheer anger she has gotten in the past week, bundled up in a cute handbasket. And she's going to say, "Are you sure you want to do that?" And her voice is just going to drop.
What'd you roll on that strength check, Renegar?
That was, let's see, am I doing what? Just a flat strength?
Flat strength check.
So I rolled a 2 on the dice. So I got a 5 strength check.
All right.
Unless we're adding my proficiency.
All right. So it's actually a lot harder to break this thing than you thought it would be. It's pretty sturdy built. And Jane is giving you this sort of threatening mien while you're trying to break it. So you can do one of a couple of things, and how you play it is up to you and your character. You could either play it off like, you know what, you're right, I don't want to break your bow. You could keep trying to break the thing while holding eye contact and just make it seem like you're doing it as an exaggerated, slow process. Or you could do something I'm not thinking of. So what's your poison?
I'm going to just sort of hold the position that it's in because I know it's making the sound that I need it to make. And I'm going to just try to be polite and firm at the same time.
Fair. All right. While all this is going on, Renegar's nephew, his tattoo is done, and he's going to stand up and flex his arms. And there's just a general look of confidence and strength to him. And as he walks past Gramish, he's going to nod. And the cleric is going to go, next in the chair.
Athel's going to jump in before anyone else can.
All right. Before you make your Constitution save, as the DM, as a friendly DM, I might advise you to wild shape into something to give yourself some extra hit points in case you fail.
I'm actually going to quietly cast what is it? Enhance ability on myself, so I get 2d6 temporary hit points.
Okay, that works too. All right, so go ahead and make a Constitution saving throw.
So that is a natural 20.
Natural 20. All right.
God damn.
Oh, you.
The dice are with us. All right, so Athel, you feel the needle going in, and you feel that it's going in pretty deep, but it's just not that bad. And you're actually kind of wondering what all the fuss was about, and you're wondering why these gnolls were being such babies about it. And it's kind of thing where, like, as you're completely failing to react in any way to this horrific, scarring, abyssal ritual that connects you directly to the demon Yunogu, the gnolls are kind of getting a slightly alarmed look by your lack of reaction, and like they're whispering among themselves. And even though you don't speak Gnoll, you're getting a sense of, it's like, is this guy okay? What's going on with this goblin? This isn't right.
Grommish is like, see, Magic Buddy is perfectly fine, and he's like, small. See?
For the second time in this campaign, Athel is going to do the bodybuilder flex as it's completed.
And
Jane is sending you daggers.
Renegar, one of the other gnolls is going to kind of sidle up to you, and another one of your cousins is going to go, "What is with that goblin? Where did you find goblins? Are supposed to be little tiny. We eat them. Like what?"
Same place I've been for 6 years.
So it's the kind of thing where he doesn't really say or do anything dramatic, but when you say that, he's going to stand up a little. Everyone around you is going to stand up a little bit straighter. And for the rest of this encounter, you're going to notice that, like, whenever you speak, everybody around you stops talking and corrects their posture. And Athel is also getting, if anything, more of that effect. All right. So some time passes while this is going on, and when it's done, the mark on Athel's back is basically Yenogu, so something that looks very much like a gnoll sort of rearing up with claws and teeth all ready to attack. And so the cleric is going to wipe his brow, take a drink of something, and say, "Next in the chair."
I'm gonna drop her bow, stand up, and just turn and walk over and set myself up in front of him.
All right. DC 15 Constitution save.
Just so like look at you, just be like, it's so like just do so. It's like,
You know
what? I want.
Here we go. Moonstone, save me now. That is a 19 on the dice.
That will do it. Now with a 19, you don't take any damage, but this hurts. Like, and you've experienced some extreme things. But this is down to the bone, searing pain, and it's the kind of thing where it radiates out from wherever the needle is. This is easily the worst thing you've ever experienced. So the question now is, are you going to try to play it off like it's not affecting you whatsoever, or are you just going to try to
in total I got a 25 for the save. So right. I think I'm just going to my friends, the gnolls around me are going to remember the sounds that I'm making, because it's the same notes that our parents would play to us as a lullaby. And my friends won't know this because I've never brought this up before, and so during the entire process, I'm going to basically be attempting to put myself into sort of like a trance, humming that tune.
All right. So you're trying not to show pain, and you have a specific way you're going about it?
Yep.
Okay, go ahead and make a performance check.
I'm gonna cross my bone dice for this one.
Down to the bone.
That is a 19 total.
All right. So there again, you managed to hold the melody as much as any gnoll tune has melodies. And when the same tattoo that Athel got has concluded, Renegar is able to get up, and several of your family and some of the other gnolls, some of them who aren't kin to you, are kind of like walking up and they're avoiding touching the area of the tattoo. They're clapping you on the shoulder, and they're really proud of you. This is a high honor in your culture to get this. And at that point, the cleric is going to look at Gromish and say, "Next, I think you got cut in line."
Gromish
Jane
is
is going
going
to look at
nod.
Gromish.
Hmm?
Jane is going to look at Gromish
Mhm.
and tell him, buddy, if you really go with this, I don't think I can forgive you.
He's
And you
gonna
know that I would have to attack you if you go crazy.
he's gonna kneel down in front of her, kind of like making direct eye contact with her and gently pat her shoulder. And he's just gonna go. When in arena, choice is not often made. We fight. We're told to. We sleep when told to. We don't kill when told to, and sometimes kill when told to. Outside of arena, good friends, and family made. I might lose. We both almost lost. Big thing almost killed. He gestures to Athel. Fell on friend. Strength not always needed, but for big battle, strength will be needed. I am sorry, but I want to protect. You will not fight me. Don't worry. It's okay.
That's a
You will
bold
not
assertion.
battle.
There's literally other ways to go about this, buddy.
There are many. Maybe.
While they're arguing, can I lean down and whisper to Athel? Spell. Help thee, brother. Make.
I didn't quite catch that.
I'm asking you to cast to cast some sort of magic to help him.
Oh, yeah.
And try to make to try and help make Jane feel better about it.
Well,
So-
Athel can't do charms, but Athel is gonna sort of pipe up and be like, "Well, I mean, worst comes to worst, I'm quite the healer, you know. I can."
Jane is Sorry, finish.
If necessary, I can. If the tattoo ends up hurting him, I can heal him, and I'm sure that my truly amazing healing abilities that have definitely been used more than once this campaign will definitely be able to stabilize him.
See,
Jane's
little
gonna grab
mama,
her
it's okay.
short sword and throw it at the ground of Athel. And she's gonna look at him. Dear Goblin, do you realize what Gromish is? And that this tattoo will make him possibly turn against us. Do you realize that? Do you realize that I might have to kill my buddy?
Jane, what are your maximum hit points?
Oh boy.
78. Thank you.
All right. So you're gonna feel woozy for a minute, and you're going when you look around, you're gonna see that the cleric who's been doing the tattoos. Basically, this guy just cast a sleep spell on you, but it wasn't high enough level. It only was worth about 40 points. And he's just going to kind of roll his eyes when he realizes that this didn't work and you're still talking.
Gosh, silly, just don't hold you in place. Gosh, just don't hold you in place, and he's just gonna go, little mama. It's okay. No death.
I dare you to tell me to calm down right now.
Go sleepy, or I'll make you sleepy. He's just
Jane's gonna stab him.
stand back up and sit down at the chair and cross his arms while staring at her.
Jane is going to stab him.
Oh, please do.
You're gonna
If you're
reduce-
going to allow this tattoo to hurt you, oh boy, she's going for a shot.
All right, so
Can I make a reaction on this?
yeah, I was gonna say you've now got several people around you. So Jane, you're gonna make a dexterity save. Grommish, I'm guessing you're trying to tackle her or something like that, so that'll be a strength check. So it'll
Oh,
be
no,
your
he-
strength
it-
against Jane's
Yeah,
dexterity.
he's not gonna move from the chair. Whatever she does
That's-
to him,
yeah,
she does
me.
to him. Mm.
Right.
Oh, do you mean Rengar?
Renegar, I'm sorry, Renegar. It's gonna be your strength against Jane's dexterity.
Saving
Alright.
throw or ability check?
For him, it's an ability check. For you, it's a save.
All right. Here we go.
That's a dirty 24. Come on, furry. Come here. Come here. I dare you. You want to be stabbed?
What's 18 plus 6?
24.
24, so it matches.
Hurt.
Can I take the assist action for Jane?
You're helping Jane?
For Jane.
Yes.
Oh.
Okay.
All right,
Oh, folks,
yeah,
some
so-
chaos in here. All right.
Yeah, so Renegar, you managed to get a hand on Jane, and it seems like you're going to be able to take the sword away. But then a tiny goblin hand grabs your wrist. That's not enough to overpower you or anything, but it's just enough to foul what you're trying to do. So, Jane, you're free to make your attack roll if you want to attack Grommish.
%. Let's go.
All right.
That's a dirty 27.
All right, so roll damage. Grommish takes that much damage.
Can I spend a focus point and parry her blow on him?
How
That'll
does
be
that
12
ability work?
damage.
Okay, well, hold on. So, her roll adds up to 20 something. How does the parry work?
I have to beat her AC.
Roll for it.
Fuck, I'll do it recklessly.
Well,
You know
okay,
what?
that's not it.
the gnome?
I don't think those abilities cross over.
Okay. Oh wait, I think I should be raging anyways to use reckless. That does a 21 beat your AC?
Yes.
So at this point, all of the gnolls in this group are in a circle around you. Some of them are speaking in common, and some of them are speaking in gnoll. But they're all chanting, "Fight! Fight! Fight! Fight!" While Renegar basically tackles Jane, and the cleric is just going to look at this whole situation, and he's going to signal to a couple of the gnolls to basically stand between where he's working and Jane. And Grommish, go ahead, and if you have a hand free, make your Constitution save.
Will do. Left hand. I have a. Don't know if you can hear me properly, cause baby, but I have a +7. So let's see how this goes. Click the white one, please. There we go. 17.
17 does it. And once again,
Sorry, what?
I
Sorry.
can't believe all three of you made the save, but I guess that's just how this goes sometimes. All right,
No
so
goes with us.
I was wholeheartedly with how high their stuff was. I was wholeheartedly expecting me not to hit it. I was expecting that one. Oh boy.
all right, so once again, this is the worst thing you've ever experienced in your life. And it's the kind of thing where you're used to a significant degree of physical pain, but you've never felt anything quite like this. It's like it's setting your nerves on fire, so it's radiating out from where it's being done. But you do get through it, and the tattoo does happen while this is all done to the soundtrack of Jane, I assume cursing loudly in common, Gnomish, and whatever other
100%.
language, whatever other languages she speaks.
Common, Gnomish, Goblin, and Orc.
Jeez. I
So
understand
Renegar
two of those.
and Athel, I guess Athel, you actually tried to help Jane, so she's not mad at you. But Gromish, you're not only being cursed out, you're being cursed out in your native language.
Yeah.
While
Considering
she's
how
gnashing of teeth and calling everyone out and trying to stab people.
Considering how high that, or how close that my roll was to the DC, he's probably feeling some significant pain compared to the other two. But he's still pulling like a kind of brave face, considering it's one for strength, and to him strength values a lot, and he's going to kind of like look at Jane. He's gonna give her like a wink, just like, yeah, I'm okay. And when it's done, and then he's gonna stand up, and to give the full effect that he's looking for, because again, so from what he knows, this is an honor-based thing, great honor and pure strength and such. He's gonna rage outwards, grow to the set to his next stage, use Thermitage on himself, and he's going to scream outwards in like a, not a pain kind of a thing, but a sheer I am strength kind of a display.
All right, so go ahead and make a performance check with advantage.
Will do.
When you look at Jane, she shakes her head, disappointed, and looks away.
That's just a 10.
Okay, I mean you're not Luciano Pavarotti with this, but you do manage to display a big, strong orc roaring with pride.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so it's getting to be close to dark at this point, and Renegar, at this point, your cousin is going to ask you join us for battle. Are you four joining us for the battle?
So out of this is me asking the DM here. This is the battle we were supposed to observe and report, right?
Right. So I'm just going to do a quick run through of the scenario, so there's no misgivings by anybody. The two powers are the two great empires of the region, the Dariag Supremacy and the Empire of Infernus. Both of them have vast numbers of mercenaries and allies who have made camp on either side. And who hired you to do this was the Prince of Goblin Watch, which is an independent city. And you're supposed to be doing this in secret. He's allied to the Empire. He doesn't want them to find out that he's effectively spying to find out the result of the battle ahead of everybody else in his region. Jane has a sending stone, which can be used to report back.
I'm going to ask him first who they're with.
So he's going to look around a bit conspiratorially, and he's going to whisper, us, just us.
Oh no.
And he's going to think about it a moment longer, and he's going to say, not the Empire side and not the Supremacy side, just the mercenary side. It's all one side.
So I'm gonna get a little bit of an evil grin on my face because this is gonna feel a little bit like I get to have some semblance of vengeance for what's been happening for 6 years. I'm going to go into some detail as to where I've been for 6 years in the Imperium, in slavery.
Are you saying this quietly to him, or are you saying this in a tone that people around you are going to hear it?
Well, that depends on how close is where we are in the encampment to the Imperium tents.
It's not. You're in a separate encampment.
Yeah, so I'm going to be saying this loud enough for the for the whole clan to hear, for all clans present.
All right, so the various gnolls. So I'm telling you something you already know, but just for the group and for the context. As savage and brutal as gnolls are, they're not particularly cruel. And to the extent that they are cruel, it's like eating their prey alive cruel. It's not keeping somebody in slavery for years on end cruel. Their brutality is of a different flavor, and they do not appreciate what they're hearing. And it wouldn't be the first time they've heard of something like this happening. So cries of murderers, hypocrites, liars are going up from the camp as you're saying all of this. And to the rest of the party, since you all don't speak Gnoll, you're a little bit vague on what the conversation is, other than that Renegar seems to be at the center of it, and whatever he's saying is getting these guys worked up.
Is she angry?
So,
Jane is
Yeah.
not there. She like Misty stepped. She disappeared
Yes, that is
and is just angrily
Come on, go.
steaming at the moment.
okay, where is Jane? Do you want to go back to the hilltop where you were first looking out over everything, or do you have some other destination in mind?
She'll be more back at the hilltop, but still kind of in sight watching the group.
All right. All right, so Renegar, these guys were ready to go against the Empire before you told them all of this. And so your cousin is going to say, all right, so you're joining. What about, whatever, doesn't matter. What about the goblin and the orc? Are they with us too?
Athel is.
Yes.
Wait, what language? Sorry.
Yes.
It's in Knoll, which you don't speak. So the Renegar, you're going to need to. How are you responding? Are you going to try to talk to your friends about this? What are you going to do?
I will talk to my friends because I'm not going to just put them in something without without their say so. So I do turn to them. I turn to Gromish and Athol, and I explain to them, I joined the clan, fighting
Yeah, we run the next.
gunmen.
Hey.
And I
So,
put my hand out to Gromish, and I look at both Athol and Gromish. Join.
Athel's gonna shake his head, be like, "No, I've got a job to do. I follow my oaths. I'm not getting involved."
Yeah.
I follow Little Mama and Verbuddy. If you go to combat, I seek to join, but Little Mama, Little Mama is first priority. So let's ask Little Mama where she goes, and I follow. Sorry, but
It tells me
Verbuddy.
she's not gonna be enthused about this.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
No, I feel she angry. She very angry, but had to do.
All right, so with the help of Athel's magical spyglass, it doesn't take you too long to figure out where Jane went. And the Knolls are actually pretty okay. They're kind of understanding about the fact that this is a group decision you're trying to make. And they also don't want anybody there who doesn't want to be there. More as a situation of it being a liability than any particular concern about it.
Yeah, and Athel is making it clear to the Knolls as they sort of move away to go find Jane that like he's not interested, but he also won't be fighting against them. He'll just be sort of watching from the distance.
Come here. It's
The Knolls are low-key terrified of you, so they're not having a problem with it. The best place for you to do the job you were assigned to do is where Jane is, though. Just so you're aware, just be on that hilltop. So, with that in mind, I'm going to say the group all make their way back to the hilltop, and I guess it would be Renegar is now able to explain to Jane about this situation. So, what is Jane's reaction to the invitation to join in this battle?
Jane is going to basically state it's like, you know what? Fine. You can go. Go fight the battle. I have a separate mission from you. And she's going to glare at Gromish and Athel and Renegar, and she's going to minor illusion a tree, and one of the branches is going to stick out and middle finger the three of them.
Hey, what did I do? I don't want to fight.
You did not help with the tattoo situation.
Yes, I did. I actually helped you.
Yeah, Athel actually helped you.
Okay. You can hide in the tree with me. That's as much niceness as you get.
All right, cool. I'll hide in the tree.
All right. So, Renegar and Gromish, you're going to. I take it then that. Actually, no, I don't want to speak for you or your characters. What are you two doing at this point then?
Gromish will.
So me joining this battle doesn't stop me from rejoining my friends as long as I survive the battle.
Mm.
No, yeah, no one. Sorry, repeat the question, please.
So me joining in on this battle doesn't stop me from continuing with my friends as long as I survive the battle, right?
So I'm going to say you specifically have that conversation with your cousin, and basically like you're a free person. You can go wherever you want. We want to meet up with you again, but if you're on some kind of errand, we're not going to stop you.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Gromish,
So that's basically what I'm going to do. I'm going to join in on the battle, but as soon as it's over, I have my own mission.
All right.
yeah, Gromish will probably, after having Jane flip him off, he'll probably just kind of like sit down kind of in front of her, more or less the same height as she is. And he's just kind of go and be like, angrier than me. Was funny, now sad. Talk?
The tree's gonna shake at the top of it, and then leaves are gonna fall down and say, no.
Well, battle will be happening. I want to protect Renegar. Will you be okay?
And she's gonna peek her head out. Clearly upset. And she's going to say, you can protect Renegar. But who's going to protect you?
I big shield. Big shields don't get protected. But
You're
you
a big
watch.
dum-dum that got a tattoo that can make you go crazy.
Yeah, a bit of background noise, Renegar.
Sorry, guys. He's being extra.
You're good. Garage just kind of looking. He's gonna go. I'm big dum dum. Always big dum dum. That's why you are smart. You are brain. But strength is where I am. I protect you. I protect you. You watch over. You make sure I don't fall. You are watching battle. You can watch Renegar, but he may fall. I can protect Rhaegar. And he big, he's strong. He can protect me too. You won't lose family, little mama. I won't lose family. It's okay.
At that statement, Jane is going to puff her cheeks, kind of trying to like still be angry and hold back tears, and she's gonna hug Ramesh. You make it really hard to be mad at you.
As you say, big dum dum. Big dum dum. Don't no angry at big dum dum. Just drink. After battle, we drink. We drink many. We drink plenty. We drink happily.
Promise.
Always. You stay safe.
And she's going to step back and punch his shoulder as hard as she can. If you break that promise, I will find a way to bring you back and kill you myself.
Hey, he points at the tree. Magic man can bring back. You can hurt me later.
So they're like, I wasn't licensed in necromancy.
You can figure it out, buddy.
With that timing. All right. So, Grumish and Renegar make your way back to the Knoll camp. And by this point, it's pretty much almost full dark. So you're expecting to bed down for the night. And that is not what's happening. What's happening is everybody is getting ready to fight right now. And you can see from where you are that the camps of the Empire and their allies are bedding down for the night. And there's virtually no organization to this. From somewhere nearby, there's a horn blast. And from all of the various mercenary camps, they all just converge on the camps of the Empire and their allies. So as you run in with your companions in this, there are some camp guards and stuff like that who perk up and offer resistance, but because you have them by surprise, you're just cutting through. Renegar, I'm going to need you to mute me, Mike. You're basically just carving your way through people who they are coming to arms, but they can't offer an organized, coherent resistance. So it's extremely one-sided, and the camp is almost immediately just completely ablaze. In the chaos, you do see this mighty golden chariot with several spellcasters around it, as well as some what are clearly high-end warriors defending it. But the various mercenary archers, spellcasters, and everything else are just throwing everything they have. And you watch the Emperor get taken down from his chariot and torn to pieces. As you look across, and Athel and Jane, you are seeing this. It's the kind of thing where you had probably already started to make camp for the night and were only alerted that something was going on due to some commotion from below. The magically enhanced battle cry that you heard. Athel and Jane, what you're going to see that Renegar and Grommish cannot is that what's happened to the Imperial camp is also happening across the battlefield to the Supremacy's camp. So all of the mercenaries on either side, apparently at a predetermined time and on the same signal, attacked the main armies of these great empires.
Damn.
Jane is going to, as it's happening, quickly relay that to her sending stone.
All right, so you begin to speak into the sending stone, and it takes a moment to get a reply, and a very polite voice is going to just say, "I am sorry, I don't think I understood you correctly. Would you be so kind as to repeat that?" Are you just repeating
Okay.
the same message?
Yes.
Okay, in that same voice, in this exaggerately polite tone, is going to say, just bear with us one moment, please. Well, be right back with you.
That moment of what the fuck? Being nice.
Middle of the night, war room is being convened, and they're being told so that they did not expect.
So after a moment, a much more grizzled sounding voice is going to say through the sending stone, you're going to hear through the sending stone, what in the fiery anus of Asmodeus are you talking about?
Can Athel chime in? Is Athel close enough to hear all this?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. Athel's gonna say, yeah. Well, there was something happened, and all of the mercenaries killed both armies. Are killing both armies. It looks like the Emperor's dead. Actually, I don't know. I'm still getting some of the details through my scope, but the Emperor's definitely very gone. Not.
You hear a different voice call, okay, everybody. Like you're not talking into the sending stone, you can just hear it like if somebody's holding a phone. And you're just going to hear, okay, everybody, that's going to be a code brown because I need new shorts.
Jane's gonna pipe in. It's like, well, we'll update you as it goes.
Mercenaries have won this. Athel's just going to blurt out, like, the mercenaries are the victors.
Well, okay, it's not over yet.
Just this army of empowered gnolls just running roughshod.
Yeah, I mean, Jane, even as you're saying that, like you're watching the last of the Imperial camp go up in flames.
Well, the Imperials are gone.
I think I just saw the Emperor's Minister for War running out on fire with no pants. That Athel's saying that into the sending stone, by the way. Absolutely.
Fair. All right, so a slightly more calm voice, like shaken but still holding it together, is going to say, our main army was with the Empire. Goblin Watch is unprotected now. We need you to get back here as soon as you possibly can. Are all of you okay?
Well, Athel
Don't-
and I are okay.
Athel's just like doing the don't keep talking motion. Just like, nope, we're fine.
All right, that's really good to hear.
Good.
We have heard of some of your adventures, so it sounds like you've proven yourselves to be everything we hoped you would be, and we'll look forward to organizing some kind of defense. We have to assume that the mercenaries are going to attack everything they haven't already.
Oh, Athel is going to add one more thing to the sending stone, by the way.
Okay.
He's going to add, and one of the mercenary groups we actually met on the way here, and they mentioned something as well that we've been hearing a lot. They said that the empires don't matter because the dragon stirs.
So you're actually going to hear an audible, very profound sigh, and the answer you're going to get is, we've been hearing that too. We've been hearing conflicting rumors about what it means. But given the fact that the two great powers of the region have now been declawed and we've lost our main army, whatever that is not our primary concern at this time.
Fair.
So, should we stay to see if they make their way to any direction to you, or do you want us to return immediately?
I would say return sooner rather than later, and if possible, make your path through the city of Elfhaven. Elfhaven is a city that you know to be on the coast, almost due west of you. if Elfhaven is still there, warn them, and then make your way south as fast as you can. Elfhaven is not our ally, but they most likely had their main army supporting the Dariag supremacy, which means that Elfhaven has also lost their army. You can relay to them that if they want to evacuate, they are welcome to evacuate anyone they can to Goblin Watch, and we'll do the best we can to protect them. Now, thank you so much, brave ones, for your service. If we survive this, it will be because you got this message to us. We had no idea the message you would send would be this important. Your names will be written in every place of honor. I do have to go and start making preparations, but may all of the gods' blessings be upon you.
Thank you.
All right. So, back on the battlefield. Renegar, how will you have been conducting yourself in this nighttime raid on this unsuspecting camp? Describe what Renegar will have been doing during this adventure.
As much as possible, I'll have been leading the charge right into the enemy and mercilessly just tearing them apart. Like at some point when Ethel and Jane are looking through the glass and the Emperor goes down, they'll see me on the chariot holding his head up in the sky, just
Grommish during this.
Gold crown. Are you going to try to keep that for your own, or are you going to let the mercenaries tear it apart for gems and stuff?
I don't really have much of I don't really care about the crown. It's more about the vengeance. So yeah, I'll probably thrown the head with the crown into the crowd.
All right, so there's this momentary effect where it's like a baseball game when the ball goes into the crowd, where everybody's like reaching up at the same time and somebody catches it and cheers. Gromish, so Renegar is leading the charge. Are you with him, and how in general are you conducting yourself through this?
So Grommish would probably be like kind of to the side of it. He's keeping an eye on Renegar, and considering the mass quantity of death and murder and such, and just the army that's funneling into this area. He hasn't had to fight that much, and every single person that he has fought, he would probably tell them to surrender, and I'm assuming obviously don't, considering the fucking army that's charging into their camps, and then that's when he would probably kill them. But for the most part, he hasn't even raged this entire time. He's kind of refusing to, and he's just keeping an eye on Renegar and killing anyone who gets close to him and doesn't surrender. That's kind of how he's conducting himself through this.
All right. So Grommish isn't going to rack up much of a body count through this. He will wind up inevitably having to deal with a few people, but the people in the camp are more trying to organize some kind of makeshift defense or just escape. And the ones who are trying to escape, they're not going to be successful, but they're not going to fail at it because of Grommish, although they might fail at it because of Renegar.
If any start to run past him, like kind of throwing down their weapons or anything, he's just don't put his axe back on his back and walk past them. Because if someone dies after they run past him, it's not because of him, and that's honestly what he cares about right now.
That's fair. All right. So because of your involvement in the battle, the Curse of Rage no longer affects either of you, because you fulfilled the condition of killing at least one sentient being to end it. Ethel, because you didn't participate in the battle, you still have that on you, but you have at least 5 days before you go completely feral, and it's your party's problem.
Okay, well.
Does he roll a wisdom save now, or is it later?
It's every morning.
Okay.
So the battle winds down within a few hours, and it's basically just looting at this point, and people taking trophies ranging everything from weapons and jewels and pieces of armor to pieces of enemy soldiers. When it gets to that point, what are Grommish and Renegar going to do?
Grommish is mostly just don't be keeping an eye on Rengar. He's not going to loot anyone. It's also going to be kind of noticeable for pretty much anyone who's watching that he's outright kind of not looting anything, not touching anyone who's dead or any of the bodies. To him, this kind of thing is not really what he wants. So it's very obvious. There's no way for him to bury everything, so he's kind of just leaving it to it is, and maybe gonna have the Magic Man do some earth digging at some point, but not right now.
Okay. Renegar, what are you going to be doing as the battle has wound down and has just fallen to essentially to just looting?
I think I'm going to be joining in on the looting a little bit. Any like, I guess any like gold gems or something, something like that. But the biggest thing is were any of the people from the pit, those 5 on the list, were any of them there at this battle?
It takes you a while, but you do find one of them, and they've already been dispatched when you found them. And from what you could tell, it was the kind of thing where they were trying to run away, and just somebody overbore them and essentially stabbed them in the back, and they lay where they fell.
All right. Yeah, so I'm gonna definitely loot that body specifically. If it was one of the the tieflings on that list, I'm going to take one of their horns and just snap it off of their head to bring that with me as like a trophy.
All right, you do that.
That's probably like the main thing that I'm looking to grab, and just to have that.
Seeing Rengar do that, Grommish will probably walk up to him and be like, "Fur buddy, 5."
I'll turn to him with a big grin on my face. 4.
He's gonna kind of reach back, grab his javelin, and just kind of impale the body right in the heart. And he's gonna let go and just be like, "Help," like he said he would.
I give him the big football hug.
Just pat your back. He doesn't look particularly happy. You also notice you have now covered him in more blood than he had been covered in the entire time y'all walked in here. Everyone else just blood drenched, and he's just kind of not. Yeah, he kind of like pats your back. He's like, let's go find little mama. Let's get going.
Yeah, I'll tuck the horn into my belt and did good, Daddy.
So, Renegar, in the course of your looting, you managed to find whether it's any use to you or not, you managed to find a +1 magical longsword, 200 gold, and a collection of gems that you're not quite sure what they're worth, but they're definitely worth something.
Thanks.
And you've made out a little bit better than most people did in the looting. One, because you were at the forefront of everything, so a lot of people saw you, and also just because of your sheer physical size and brutality, people were willing to kind of, because a lot of these mercenaries weren't really warriors, they were farmers and stuff who joined as the mercenaries were making their way to the battlefield. So as you're leaving, and Athel and Jane will also see this from their hilltop vantage point, the various mercenary groups are going to meet in the middle of the field where a battle might have been. And instead of having a battle, there's this massive celebration. They pull the wagon trains of the respective armies together. So they've got all of the food and all of the drink and everything else. And I mean, it is just a full-on festival that is going to go well into and probably all night.
Damn.
So that brings us to the question: do you all want to make camp, or do you all want to leave and essentially travel all night? You all have dark vision, so that is an option if you want to put distance between yourself and the mercenaries.
Grommish would be suggesting traveling.
Yeah, Athel is also not particularly keen about being anywhere near a large group of drunk, rowdy mercenaries.
Yeah, Jane would also suggest and bring up the fact that they were told that we have to return now.
Okay. Are you going to take the recommended course of traveling to the town of Elfhaven, or are you going to try to go back the way you came?
If mentioned to Grommish, he would be probably taking that direction.
Jane would bring it up as an option. It's like, well, they wanted us back immediately, and they said that we should still make our way through Elfhaven. That's where one elf friend's at. Or at least, hopefully, still is. And we need to give him a warning as we go through back to Goblin Watch.
Give chance for survival. I choose Haven.
Before we leave,
Mhm.
I'm gonna. So before we leave, I do want to go and find the shaman that was doing the tattoos to ask him a question about the dragon, the Firebringer, to see what they know.
All right. So when you find him, he's in the process of bringing back enemy bodies as essentially zombie servants to essentially bring food and drink for the celebrating victors. And what are you going to ask him exactly?
I'm going to explain to him what we've been hearing, what we fought over in that Fey section of the forest, and what it said, what it looked like, and what it said to us.
So he's going to actually stop what he's doing as you're telling him all of this, and he's going to be nodding along and kind of deep in thought as you're talking. Gnolls don't normally live to be very old, and they don't write things down, so the oral and even there's no written history of your people, and the oral history isn't terribly deep. So when you get done talking, he's going to say, some kind of ancient power is awakening, and I don't understand it, but when I've spoken with Yanogu, when I've had my meditations and interacted with the great hyena, he speaks of terrible light coming to wipe things away. And he whispers to me of blood and glory as I join with the light.
Blood and
And he's
glory
going
it
to
is.
gesture to the field, and he's going to say, and for those with the strength and ferocity, Yanogu will provide.
Yes, you will. Thank you. And I take my leave and join the rest of the group.
All right. So you will make your way away from this scene of carnage. And the city of Elfhaven isn't far from here. It's basically the coastal town that's closest to this plain. Now, it does get to be morning time as you're making your way out, which means we need a wisdom save from Athel.
Yeah. Wisdom save?
Yes.
That's a 4, but it's a natural 1, technically.
Okay.
Oh no!
So
Am I gonna
there's
hurt
this
him?
moment where you're all walking along. You're pretty tired. It's been an awfully long day. I mean, it was a long day before the battle even began. But you're walking along. You're trying to keep your spirits up and talking about everything you've seen and everything that's happened. And out of nowhere, Athel says, "I'll kill all of you." And then there's a moment where they're just kind of looking around to see if anybody saw that or is reacting to that before they kind of go, "So anyway," and keep talking normally.
Grommish kind of like pauses for a second, stares at him, and he just goes, we did. Good job, buddy. Okay. And okay.
Jane's
I'll give
gonna
out.
remember about the tattoo thing, and she's going to grab the hilt of her blade and look at Athel, and it's like, I really hope I don't have to use this on you.
He did kill. Right. You were on battlefield. You
Oh,
should
I
be
was
on
not.
battlefield.
Probably, yeah.
Don't worry, little magic buddy. You'll get to kill soon. Probably. There's hunt. Yeah. Go hunt. Hey. Hunt? No? Alright.
Oh, boy.
Turn into a deer. Go chase deers. Kill
Go
deer.
Kill a rabbit.
Yeah. Rabbits are small. They are fast. Yes, go kill rabbit. It makes good hunt.
Renegard, it's at this point that you remember that the condition of the curse is that he has to kill a sentient being, so something like an animal wouldn't help anything. All right. So you make your way to the gates of Goblin Watch, and they're just being opened for the morning. But because this is a city run by elves, they are a bit pretentious. And the guard at the gate is going to be a drow. There's a couple of guards at the gate, but the one who's going to speak to you is going to be a drow. And he's going to say, "Good day. What is your business in Elfhaven?"
We have come to deliver a message regarding the battle that occurred here a few days ago.
Oh, the battle already happened. Well, we didn't think that was going to be happening quite so soon. Yeah.
That's because your army and the army of the Dariog Supremacy and the army of the Empire were wiped out by mercenaries.
What the bloody? All right. He has this apoplectic moment before he finally is going to turn to one of the other guards and go, "Hey, mate, get these folk to the palace quickly. You're going to have to hand in your weapons to meet with the minister. They'll want to know all this. Get going. Get going. Get going."
Do we get to keep our weapons when we leave?
Yeah, of course, mate. You can't have your weapons when you go to see the minister. The minister is going to expect people to come before him unarmed, especially when it's, no offense, but when it's a group as eclectic as you lot.
That's okay. My fists do hurt too.
Time to clean all the blood off either.
Grommish don't like take his both his gauntlets and his axe and his javelin. He's just on kind of. I'm assuming there's a table or something that they're having this place on, because I don't think most of them are gonna be like carry half the shit that Grommish holds. And he's just placing it down.
Yeah, so you're rather abruptly led into the town, and you're led to a very official-looking building. There's something that is clearly the palace, and what you're led to is not that. It's more of some sort of bureaucratic functionaries building.
Mm-hmm.
And the situation's just as you described. There's a place for you to deposit all of your stuff, and you're led to meet with an elf who is clearly a noble and has clearly just been yanked out of bed. And,
hi, buddy.
So he's going to look at the four of you, and he's going to particularly notice Renegar, who, as you said, is still wearing the viscera of his enemies. And he's going to say, he's going to pause for a moment, and he's going to activate the spell Zone of Truth. And then he's going to ask you all what happened.
Grommish will
Athel's going
choose
to
to fail it on purpose, so he can only tell the truth.
Athel is also going to choose to fail on purpose, but he's going to try and get the first word in and be like, "Well, we were sent by your good friends in Goblin Watch to observe the battle and report back on who won. We did that. And the mercenaries that both sides hired had this interesting little plan where in the middle of the night, they attacked both sides they were serving with and completely wiped out the Dariok Supremacy and the Imperials, and as far as I could tell, killed both of their rulers in the process, before having a massive celebration. And all the armies that were supporting them that weren't mercenaries were also wiped out, which I think includes yours."
So he's going to just be staring at you absolutely wide-eyed, mouth agape. It's going to take him some time to process any of what you just said.
Many died.
And he's going to eventually, someone who seems to be just some sort of aide or otherwise assistant or functionary or something is going to kind of finally walk over to this minister who is still not reacting and just kind of tap him on the shoulder and say, "Sir." And the minister is going to snap back to himself and start giving orders. Does anybody else want to add anything to what Athel had just said?
Grommish will say, the Goblin area watch. They said if need protection or help, they can help, or moving groups.
Are you saying they can send us reinforcements?
No, they will take your refuge.
No.
They no big protection there either. No army. But two groups better than one.
We're going there ourselves to help. So
yeah,
you'll be as protected as you'll be more protected there than you are here, personally stating. Considering both of you have lost your armies. Maybe
and they are
we'll
on
be
an
able
island.
to.
Okay, one at a time. Jane, finish what you're saying, please.
Maybe we'll be able to help you better there.
All right. I'm going to rally the town watch to try to hopefully, if the mercenaries are having a celebration, it'll take them a day or two to sleep it off. We'll rally what we can to hold the gates while we arrange the evacuation. If you all would help with the evacuation, we would be very grateful. The only way we have to evacuate is by sea, and there could still be mercenary ships out there. So anything you can do for us, we'll thank you for it.
We fought on sea before. We protect.
All right. Well, you all look like you could use some rest. And he's going to kind of squint at Athel. And he's going to say, "You especially seem just a little out of sorts. We'll make arrangements for you at the inn. You all can get some rest, and we will do all we can to keep our people safe. Thank you for delivering this message to us. And if I don't get the chance to say so myself to them, please let the ministers of Goblin Watch know how much we appreciate them sending you to warn us. Goblin Watch has never been an ally to us. We've never been on that friendly of terms. So the fact that they had you come is a gesture that will never be forgotten. And of course, them taking in our refugees as well.
We want to make sure people are safe, protected. We happy to help. Boats we have been on.
All right. So you all are escorted out. You get all your weaponry back, and you are shown to an inn where you're put up to get some rest. You're going to have the benefit of a long rest for the next session, but you don't get to rest for long because it's pretty clear that what happens shortly after your meeting with this minister is word spreads through Elfhaven about what's going on, and there's absolute panic in the streets, borderline riots as people are making their way to the docks or just to the gates to get out of the city. And so you are, after a very hasty breakfast, you are going out into this sea of chaos and pandemonium in a city that's been completely gripped by panic due to the news that you have had to deliver. And that seems like a pretty good place to leave our adventure for this evening.
Oh, yeah. We'll see what kind of insanity is going to occur next episode as probably Gromish tries to be a peacekeeper. And we'll see how well that works out. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. If you guys did, feel free to hit that follow button. Come join us as we stream almost every day weekly. The only day we don't stream is Saturday, I do believe. Go check out Benny at AutistDM on TikTok if you guys want some help and info on TikToking, on not TikToking, DMing, and other various stories that he has. And feel free to go check out our socials as well inside of the chat if you guys want to see the rest of the stuff that we do. And we'll see all of you fine folks on the next episode at 4:30 p.m. PST next Wednesday. All right. Huh? Did someone say something?
That was
Oh.
Jasper.
Okay. Have a good night, ladies and gentlemen. Bye.
Uh,
Bye.